We're actually coming out with 4 new jigsaws. We're going to have 6 jigsaws in the line total. We're going to have top handle, Carvex. We're going to have a barrel grip. We're also going to have these versions in the cordless version, battery operated, 18 volt. All the jigsaws are going to have a brushless motor. All right, as far as the Carvex is concerned, the numbers that we're getting right now for the life of the batteries is going to be about 26 meters, okay? 60 to 75 feet. And I think it's 1.5 inch material is what they're talking about, okay? It's a lot of footage out of a battery. One of the things that we've heard from people also is that we want lights on the jigsaw. Awesome. Helps if you take a battery operated one. This only works, the light only works when it's plugged in. Okay? So we actually have a light on this now. Okay? Now, what's special about this light is it has 3 modes. It has a stroboscopic mode. What that'll do for you is it's going to match the speed of the blade. So when you're cutting, it looks like the blade's standing still. What's the purpose of that? The whole purpose of that is going to be so I can actually line it up to my line and get my cut. Okay? If you don't like that stroboscopic, you want it just a flat light, I can actually change it to a straight-on set light. Or I can turn the light off if I don't want it. One of the things that's nice about this also is I flip it upside down, that light automatically turns off. So if you're cutting upside down, you're not going to get blinded. What we're going to do is we're going to take, there's a switch on this side. It's the other thing that we've changed. There's a switch on this side and a switch on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold both on. So I got both switches held on. There it goes. Did you hear it? So now it's beeping. So that's the stroboscopic. I push that button. Now it's straight on. I turn it. It's off. Whatever I decide I want, I take the right button and flip that. Now, there's no light. All right, go through it again. There we go. Now it's back to stroboscopic, and now it's, all right? So depending on what you want to do, you can have whatever light you want. Now we got the light. The other thing that people wanted on this is they also said, I want to be able to see when I'm cutting. The dust collection, with the dust collection on it, it's hard to see. So what we've done now is we have this clear plastic plate that's on here, and it slides up the front. It's flatter. So I'm not looking through curves this way and down. So it's flat. I want it out of the way. I don't have to try to figure out how to get it off. I just slide this up and down, depending if I want it. Okay? Which is a nice additional feature. When we change bases, okay, if we want to take a base on our jigsaw and we want to change it to a 45, what do you have to do? You're going to unscrew it, flip it back, turn it, lock it back in. Want to go back to 90 degrees, not the easiest thing to get it back exactly 90. So what we've done is, like Alan said, the green pieces do something, the green buttons. So we're going to flip this up, and the base comes off. And we have different bases that are available for this. So there's a base here. This is going to allow us to cut circles and also to hook it to our rails if we want to do straight lines. Okay? Our circle jig, I'll get into that in a little bit. This other base that we have, and this is the one I was looking for, this one, if I want to change it to a 45 or a 30 degree or whatever, on here, there's a micro adjust. So I can actually turn this, and there's a butterfly hinge here. I can turn this where I can go all the way to 45 degree this way, or I can take it and I can go down to a 90 degree in the other direction. I can take this and close it right up to where it's 90 degrees. So if I want to go inside or outside corners, depending on what I'm cutting, I can adjust that base. All right? Makes it really nice. I can also, when I go to set it on here, I set the back in. So I set the back in here, lock that in, flip the green handle over. Now I'm set. Now I can cut on that angle. Pretty simple, right? Now when I go back to 90 degrees, flip that handle up, take that off, put this back in. I'm going to go back in first, lock that in. That's automatically 90 degrees. That's the hardest thing with any jigsaw, is to take that from any angle to back to 90 degrees. Not the easiest thing in the world. Now, we've got it. The other thing that we've done is we also can take this plate off. When we take that plate off, we've got several other plates that are available. If you just want to get a shot of these. Okay. So on here, we have this plate here. This plate here has got phenolic on it. This is for anything, if you're cutting something up that's got hard chunks, particle board, anything like that. If you're in a soft plastic base, that'll typically embed itself in this. Now you're galling your material. Now what are you doing? You're creating more work. You don't want that. So what this will do, this will push off the hard objects, and it's not going to embed itself in the phenolic. It's going to give you a nice clean cut, not causing extra work. Okay? And what these do, these just slide on. I'm all set. All right. So we've got the phenolic base. We also have this one. If you take this peel coat off, it's steel underneath. If I'm cutting steel, what's steel going to do to plastic? It's going to embed itself in air, and now you get the same issue. So what's nice about the steel base, you're cutting steel, it'll slide right over real easy. It's not going to embed itself, no scratches. Your bases are going to hold up a lot longer. You're working less, and it's just going to make your life a lot easier. This one here, if you notice all the dimples on here, okay, what that is for any kind of rough cut material, rough wood, something that's not been planed. Okay? Did you ever try to cut something with a regular jigsaw on rough wood? What happens? It starts to, right? You get that stutter cut. All right, so with this, if we take this base or we take the phenolic base and we go over, and I encourage you guys, afterwards or in the rotunda room or downstairs on it's Friday and Saturday, come by. We're going to have these and feel the difference. How much easier this will slide over a rough material. So if you're doing something like that, you really want this base. The other thing I can do is the dimples here are all in a perfect line. So if I need to cut something, I can, instead of putting that base on, if I only have this, I can actually follow a line with that and cut. It's not going to be as accurate as this, but I can do it. Okay? So all these bases just slide on. Now this one here, it's like a hook and loop. So what you get is you get some felt pads. When you buy this base kit, you get felt pads in here, and they come in this little holder, and all we do is stick this on here, and it picks up that felt. The felt is going to be for any kind of pre-finished material, whether it's pre-finished plywood or something that you've already cut. Oh, I got to cut something out, notch something out. It's pre-finished. You don't want to scratch it. The felt's going to slide up and over it and make it a real nice, smooth, clean finish. The circle cutter that we have with this now, with the PS300 to PS2, the circle cutter we had was 14 11/16 radius that we were able to do. So, 28 and 29 and a quarter, somewhere in here. What's nice about this now, this is actually a tape measure, and I can do 1.5 meters. So I can take this all the way out and be able to do radiuses that big. Okay? And with the tape in that, it's real stiff. It allows you to glide around, do a real nice job. One of the other things that we've added also to the Carvex is, how many of you guys have cut with a saw like this, a barrel grip, and you try to cut around and there's a wall in the way, and the cord's sticking out, right? And if that cord was up, it'd be great. Okay? It's little stuff, but you know what? You guys all know that had run into that. If that cord was up, it'd be great, all right? Now it allows you to do that on the barrel grips. All right, the speed control for the Jigsaw. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A. A? What's the A for? Yeah, exactly. It's Canada, eh? Okay. Well, this A goes into almost like a neutral mode. It's real slow. So the blade's not doing the wobble back and forth. So as I go into my cut, it makes a real nice, straight, clean cut. And then once you put pressure on it, it'll pull the speed up to the speed that it needs to be. So it gives you a nice, clean cut on the edge instead of, an 1/8 inch on either side where you got some blade curve or some cut in there. The speed on these jigsaws also are about 800 oscillations per minute more than the PS300, so it's going to cut faster for you. This one, I'm going to put the blade in, and I'm going to turn it. That's it. It's done. No handle lift up, nothing. Really easy. Now you start cutting. Blade's hot. What do you got to do to get the blade out? You're like, okay. Watch your eye. See that? So all I'm doing is pushing this button forward, and it'll shoot the blade out. Okay. Splinter guard, same splinter guard as the PS300, so we're still going to get the splinter-free cuts. We're going to slide this in. Now, all you guys know that you don't use your thumb to put this in, right? You're just going to turn it on and press it in. So I'll show you how to do that in a second. One of the things that a lot of people don't understand about our jigsaws, especially our PS300, is how to adjust the guides. All right, the guides. I'm not going to go through the whole setup with you because I know we're running low on time. But basically, we still have the same type of setup guides. We have carbide guides here, and we have a set screw here. And what's going to happen is this side here is stationary. This side here is going to move in towards the blade. So depending on your thickness of your blade, you need to adjust these guides. So we're going to pull the blade out, and then we're going to take these guides, and what we're going to do is we're going to push it forward. We're going to take that, we're going to lock it into the blade. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit more. And I'm going to open it up until that blade slides that back in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my finger on the front of it just to put a little bit of pressure, and I'm going to slide it back. And it should slide out real easy. When I push it forward, it should slide out easily. You should feel just a little bit of drag on there. Now, it's going to work the same thing with this one as it does with the old PS300. So if you got the old one, it does the same thing. But adjusting those guides are key. It's going to keep that blade in line. Okay. Now, notice the cord. It will go up there. Now, right now I have this on A. And watch, if you can watch the cut. Do you hear how slow it is? Listen when I go into it, and listen how it speeds up. So you can see how nice and clean that cut is. It just went in nice and straight. Okay. Like I said earlier, I got an on-off switch here, and for you lefties, we don't want you to feel left out. We have one on this side also. Okay. So it's really nice. On the D handle, we have those also, but we also have the trigger up here. Now, using the trigger on a D handle, this trigger here, the A is taken out of it because this is a variable speed in the trigger. Okay? It's just when I'm using these in this, in this mode, now I'm using the A, that'll go back into where it works.